3-day cruises, they don't half go quick. As you can see, we're arriving this morning into our final port of call, which was Cherbourg in France. But before then, of course, it's time for breakfast. While you're on board an MSC cruise, we have these great machines for cruise card activation. So when you first get on board, you'll need to scan your cruise card and attach it to your credit card or debit card if you want to start using that. You can also use these anytime to check your current bill, see how much you've spent, and it's really, really useful for being able to deposit cash as well. So you can actually deposit cash into the system and it goes straight onto your onboard account. This is perfect if you're like to keep to a budget that you've got it set in mind. I know a lot of people like to save up cash over the months before their cruise, come on board, put it on the thing, and then they know exactly how much they have to spend. Really, really great if you can keep to a budget or need to keep to a budget, and this will help with that. With Cherbourg being a later arrival in port, we thought we'd take the time to go to the Starship Club and finally order a drink from Rob the robot bartender. Have a look at the process. Since we had the time, after playing around with this in the Starship Club, we decided to go and have a main dining room lunch. Not often we get a chance to do this because we're usually in port, but we had a nice time to go and have some nice dishes. It was quite a limited menu, but it was all delicious and it really was worth the time. Final wander around the ship before heading off today, and we went to have a good look at the Jean-Philippe Chocolat and Café. This is the chocolatiers on board, where there are amazing things made of chocolate. You can buy lots of different chocolate bars and even create your own chocolate bar. More on that in a moment. As you can see, you can use the screens to create your own chocolate bar, add your own toppings, and it's made for you right there. You come back later on to pick it up, and it is deliciously wrapped for you, and you can either eat it on board or take it home as a lovely souvenir. As you can see, this lovely man is making our chocolate bar right in front of us. We get to see all of the different toppings that he's got there, see how he pours out the chocolate into the mould, cuts the bar into the right shape, and then puts all of the ingredients on it. And of course, when it's done and it's cooled down and wrapped, we have our bar. We have just docked in the port of Cherbourg in France. This is in Normandy in France, if anyone cares. And we're about to head off. We just had lunch in the main dining room. So do remember that lunch is not just a buffet over there, but you can go to the main dining room for lunch. The menu changes every day, so it's a good opportunity to be served your lunch at a nice table. Yeah, a good little menu. Not a huge amount of choice, but hey, it's better than fighting for buffet food. We're going to head off into the port now and spend the day exploring Cherbourg. We don't have any specific plans. We're going to go shopping. Hi everyone, and here we are at the cruise terminal here in Cherbourg. This is actually part of a bigger building that is called Cité de la Mer, which is a maritime museum here. And what you can see behind me is really, really interesting. You see this here? This is the original baggage claim for the Titanic. So yes, this is where people would come to pick up their luggage on sailing on Titanic. So in Cherbourg, this was the final port stop that the Titanic left on its way to New York, obviously on its fateful journey in 1912. And so yeah, there's quite a lot of Titanic stuff here, and in the museum you actually can see, for example, the example of a stateroom as it was on Titanic, which is really cool. So yeah, have a look. This is the baggage claim. Probably worked a little bit smoother than some of the airlines nowadays, but hey, yeah. Welcome to Cherbourg. One thing to be aware of is a lot of cruise lines do call at Cherbourg on a Saturday or a Sunday. If you do come here on a Sunday, the shops are not open. We found only a couple of things that were available, such as a couple of bars, restaurants and a bakery, but all of the shops were indeed closed. And this is from everything from corner shops to clothes shops to souvenir shops. It's all closed down, so if you wanted to do some shopping, this is not the day to do it. So do check your itinerary and check if you are coming on a Sunday. If so, you may want to book an excursion or have alternative plans. Here we are in Cherbourg. So if you are here on a Sunday like we are today, where a lot of the shops are closed, or if you just fancy going off the beaten path and not doing an excursion, there are plenty of places in Cherbourg to have a good little wander, including here. This is a lovely local park. Inside the park there's a little tropical area where you can see some nice plants. It's just a really nice place to be, and it's only a short walk from the terminal. You can have a quick wander, see some of the beautiful sights here, and hopefully you'll be as lucky as I am with the weather. We really enjoyed wandering around the town of Cherbourg as well as the gardens and seeing exactly what it was like to live here. Obviously with the shops closed, we couldn't go in and out of the shops and buy souvenirs and stuff, but we were able to get some really good insights into what it would be like to be here. The streets were lovely, the fountain was lovely, and there were some great places to see and things to do. For example, we went to the bakery, which you'll see some pictures of soon. In the buildings where the cruise terminal is, there's also a maritime museum and submarine museum. Lots of exhibitions that you can visit if you'd like to here. You just need to purchase a ticket. If you don't have a ticket, you can still have a look around some of these free exhibits, as well as going to the gift shop. After we had a look around, we then started queuing to get back on board the ship. It was a very long queue, which took quite a long time for some reason, but it wasn't long before we were back on board and ready to go to afternoon tea. Now, afternoon tea on board this ship is a case of going to the buffet and helping yourself to the ingredients of the afternoon tea rather than it being served to you. This was fine, and we had some very nice things there, but it was very plain. We then went to the champagne bar to get our lovely glass of champagne and have a lovely pre-dinner drink. It wasn't long until we were getting ready for dinner, and it was going to be delicious. Have a look at some of the food we had. And that about wraps up our trip on the MSC Virtuosa. We'd absolutely love to come back, so please do subscribe and leave a comment below if there's anything you'd like us to cover. Looking forward to seeing you soon. Stay safe.